Welcome back. Well, today is another Wild Wednesday.
And joining us this morning is Allison Gould, education specialist with the Great Plains Zoo, and she has with her a bearded dragon named Izzy this morning.
Hello, Izzy.
Hello.
So, bearded dragons are from Australia. They are a desert lizard species, so she has all kinds of different things to help her survive there. She's getting a little wiggly this morning.
I was going to say, okay, so tell us about, you mentioned she has some spikes on her. Talk about how that kind of helps as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, so they have spikes down the sides of their body and on the side of their face. So whenever they're feeling threatened by a predator, they'll puff up their sides, and those spikes will stick straight out just to make them seem really big and scary, so other animals leave them alone.
And you mentioned she's a desert lizard, so camouflage, I'm sure, is a big part of that too, right?
Yeah, so she's a very typical sandy color, so bearded dragons can range from tan to orange to even a darker brown sometimes, just depending on the sand of the areas where they live.
Interesting. Okay, and they're not, some people might think, oh, you know, they're poisonous, this and that. She's not, right?
She's not, no, she is perfectly safe to be around. She is more of a faker to make herself seem scarier, so they do puff up their chins as well, and their chins will turn a dark black color just to seem scary, but they're pretty harmless to people.
So what would they eat? Being in the desert, I'm sure like small insects and maybe some worms?
Yes, they are an omnivore, so they'll eat kind of anything that they can find. So a lot of bugs like crickets, sometimes spiders too, but any leafy greens they can find, sometimes cactus or fruit from cactus, they'll eat just about anything.
Okay, what are some predators that they have to be worried about, like when they're out in the wild?
Almost anything bigger than them will try to go after them. So larger carnivores, really big birds like hawks will try to, but they will try to run and hide if they do see anything that could try to eat them.
So the desert's usually hotter, it's a cold-blooded animal, so are they usually more active in the middle of the day with the sun so that way they can get that heat?
They are, yeah. They'll be most active when it's really sunny out, and if they are starting to feel cold, they'll just rest on a nice warm rock to try to soak up as much sun as they can. But bearded dragons are also really cool that they can change their color to help them absorb more heat when they need to. So they'll get darker when they're feeling cold, and then they'll turn a lighter color when they're really warm.
That's cool, I didn't know
Yeah.
Okay, and then where can you find her at the zoo?
Sure, yeah. So she's one of our education animals, so she only comes out to do programs, but one of the most common ways to see her is during our summer creature features. So those are done by our JZK teen volunteers throughout the summer, and our applications for our JZKs are actually opening up this Friday.
Okay, talk about, okay, so we talked, we have to mention the weather a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a great time to go to the zoo, right?
Yes.
We've had some really nice times. Talk about kind of what you guys have at the zoo as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's out and active right now, especially as we are warming up a little bit more. More animals will start to move around a little bit more, but our bears are loving this weather, so are the bison and our wolves and foxes, and even our penguins too. Even though they're inside, you can still see them all year.
And you can get tickets right at the door there, right?
Yes, you can, or online.
Or online.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here and bringing Izzy in as well.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be right back after the break.